Man, this game is crazy. You know, you come out here 1 week, you look like a major champion. The next week, you look like a 25 handicapper from Crabapple, North Dakota. But
let's go, bro.
3 shots, 4 par, I just do 2, 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woo-hoo, new driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, it drew, shooter McGavin, 2 thumbs that's up high and 2 fingers pointed at you, pew pew, fairway to green, conk off that I'm playing. Sometimes these par 3 green look like an island, a punch and keep it on dry land, at least I might try, man, up with the 5 and might use the trap, man. I got a check, man, line tango, ball speed, rate of that backsman, and where that ball land. Watch that's on my hand, is yours not the time, man. Yeah, that's my garment. I feel like Ron, man. Not talking noodles, I'm talking about John, man. And Gary Woodland, stripes so with Travis Fulton, got me striping like Dustin Johnson. 59 watchdog, the way that I'm playing. Hope that it is God's plan, look like a God plan. Ain't drop the shot, man. Soon as I say that, my ball dropping that sand.
Welcome to Nothing Is Obi South Texas Golf Podcast, episode 161. Now, tonight's special guest is Ray Garza. Man, he's got a lot of things going on. On Par Golf Apparel, Rockin' G Grill, founder of the Flamingo Club. He's going to be on tonight to speak on everything golf, all right? Everything he's got going on out there at Mission Del Lago, what he's got in Northern Hills, and to see how things are going up there at Cedar Creek, see if On Par Golf Cedar Creek is up and running. And the deadline for the Flamingo Club is coming up soon. Ray Garza is also going to speak on that. And just in case you're wondering, yes, I'm rocking a one-of-a-kind right here. Man, that On Par Golf Apparel, man, it's slick, dude. It's even makes my fat ass look good. Before we get things going right here, we want to speak on our presenting sponsor right here. Special thanks to presenting sponsor, Maximum Demolition and Dismantling. Owner-operator, Lee Ramos. You can reach out to Lee at MaximumDemo.com. Lee is one of the best people out there, not only in the demolition and dismantling game. No job too big, no job too small. He's one of the best people out there. I'm so thankful for his sponsorship, presenting sponsorship of the Nothing Is Obi South Texas Golf Podcast. And also, we are coming live right here. We're coming live from the Texas Chancla studio, JesseHernandezLaw.com. For any of your legal matters, you have any parental, DWI, any criminal case, anything, Jesse Hernandez can take care of that. Make sure you hit him up at JesseHernandezLaw.com. So thankful for his sponsorship of the Nothing Is Obi South Texas Golf Podcast. We are coming live from the Texas Chancla studio. And right here, before we kick things off here, just a little teaser right here. Everyone's waiting for the next second episode of Two Bros, One Hole right here. Just a little teaser right here for y'all.
Hey guys, it's Leo coming live from beautiful Comanche Trace. We're on hole number 5. It's playing 421, brought to you by Nothing Is OB and the good people over there. 2 bros, 1 hole. Let's do it.
Mashed potatoes.
Aye.
15 bags, daddy. Come on. 4
Hey.
bros. Nothing Is OB.
Aye.
Aguas.
Awas. That was just a little teaser right there. The real episode will be coming on later this evening. Right there, the long-awaited episode right here. Now, let's go ahead and bring out our man right here, Ray Garza from On Par Golf Apparel, the Flamingo Club, Rockin' G Grill, one of the best ever to do it out there, especially out there in the South. Ray, thanks so much for joining the show tonight, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me, Andy.
That's a lot, man. I got pretty winded right there, man. You got a lot on your plate, brother.
Yeah, the resume is building up, I guess, but hey, it's all good. I mean, I enjoy staying busy, so yeah, just it is what it is, right?
Well, you got to handle a lot of stuff, but you know what? A lot of positives. You're doing out some great things right there. You're part of several leadership organizations, Chamber of Commerce. Like, man, you're doing some great things, putting some great stuff out, not only for adults, not only for the businesses and communities, but especially for our kids, man. How's everything going, Ray? I know, man, you've been traveling. I really follow you on Facebook, social media. How's everything going, brother?
I mean, just busy as can be, but I mean, loving every minute of it. Yeah, I have been traveling a little bit. Been playing a little bit more golf than normal, just because it's been scramble season. Like all these charity fundraiser, opportunities have been probably the most I've ever played. I think in the last 4 weeks, I've played in about 12 events. So it's taken up a lot of my time, but it's good. It's just good networking. It's good for business. And two, I wanted to get a little more golf going. So it's been a good balance, but I'm kind of ready to actually start playing my own ball, because it's just been scramble after scramble after scramble. So, on that front, getting some more golf in. Yeah.
No, we lost Ray. We'll get him off here. We'll check back in here in a bit right here. Now, there's my sister right there. Tracy thought his way to go, Andy. Hey, thanks, sis. Thanks for tuning in right here. Before we kick things off here, before we continue with the show right here, thank you, sis. Appreciate it, man. I'm glad you're watching. Right here. Special thanks once again to Maximum Demolition Dismantling. New sponsor, presenting sponsor of the Nothing is OB South Texas Golf Podcast. Super thankful. Lee Ramos, one of the best people out there, loves to golf. It's his passion outside of, breaking stuff down, putting it back up. Now, make sure you hit up Lee Ramos. That's the owner operator of Maximum Demolition and Dismantling. If you need a house, demoed, business, if you need something that you can't get out of the business, you can't get out of the door, this dude, he can take it apart, put it back together. He makes the impossible possible. So thankful for his sponsorship. And make sure, guys, you hit up and check out my man, the Texas Chancla, Jesse Hernandez. He's one of the best people out there. Man, he is the TikTok god. He's the TikTok king, and he will make it happen. Now, that's for any of your legal matters. Please hit up Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla. He's smacking the other lawyers around. He's taking names. So thankful. And we're coming live from the studios of the Texas Chancla right here. Let's see if we can get Ray back on, but let's see. He's having a little bit of technical difficulties right here. All right, guys. So we got episode number 2 of Two Bros, One Hole coming out later on tonight, it looks like. And I just kind of put out and just teased a little bit of the trailer right here with Leo and I. We are at a Comanche Trace working and playing on the number 1 handicap hole right here. Let's go. Ray Garza's back on.
Yeah, so that was weird. I jumped on my phone for the first time, and I actually got a phone call, I guess, and it just shoot me up. So everybody out there, don't call me right now. I'm busy.
Hey, they want to see you, right? Watch the show tonight, right, bro?
Yeah, no, so I didn't mean to cut out, but just kind of where I've been, it's just been a lot of golf. The businesses are doing well. I think with the weather change, we hit a little bit of low. I think that's the thing I've been hearing from a lot of other business owners, restaurant industry a little bit as well, is it's just been kind of an odd low right now. We had a great summer, and then I think on the trail side too, with all these courses, we're at full capacity now with the Alamo City Golf Trail side. So it's a little bit even playing field, because we're not short one golf course on the trail menu. So I think that had a little play in it. But I think with like days like today, with the weather being much more Chamber of Commerce style, nice and comfy, you're not sweating your ass off. It's a little more I guess inviting for more people to come out and play golf, more in the middle of the day. So on Park Golf's, doing a lot of positive from every facet of what we're doing. From a staffing standpoint, we've got some growth that hopefully we'll talk about a little bit. And, our programming, we're going to do some new things coming 2025, as well as the apparel line. I mean, that's really exciting. I keep putting all these teasers out, and I'm just waiting everything that's in production to come out so we can really put some new threads out that are going to be, the best we've ever put out. So I can't wait for that stuff to come out. And you're sporting something that, that's a one of a kind right there. No one in the world has that right now other than you. So you're pretty special. And, and then, the give back, the whole Flamingo Club, I think we'll touch on that today. But that's just an amazing program that it was just an idea that has grown tremendously in a very short period of time. So I couldn't be more thrilled to talk about it today and let everybody know kind of where we're at and where we're going with all our programming and businesses. Wherever you want to take us, let's go, Andy.
So all right. And on top of all this, your business, loving husband, father of two,
Yeah.
daughters playing sports,
Yeah.
I mean, traveling, you're trying to juggle everything. And I think you do a great job of that, Ray. And I think that's why I have a lot of people have respect for you. Now I saw you were at Brack the other day. Now I saw you from a distance playing in the golf tournament. We were out there, FOREBROS was out there on the same day. Now you talked about some of the weather, having some beautiful weather out there right now.
Yeah.
Man, it's a great time to be a golfer here in San Antonio.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have golf year round. Really, I would say there's probably less than 2-3 weeks throughout the whole year that it's just too cold, because the hot is never going to be an issue, right? If it's hot, you can still play golf, but if it's 35 degrees and 30 mile per hour wind, I mean, you're not going to go play golf. And those days are few and far in between. And then we got no rain, so it's like there's no excuse other than those colder days. So there's plenty of golf to be played, and I think there's a lot of golf courses that are getting in better condition as well. I know we had our ups and downs with everybody, even the trail and other locations around the greater San Antonio area, but I think it's a great time of year for golf. It's there's plenty of options for golf now. I think it's a healthy competition within the city. So, I just think some of the things that, expense wise, finding the right fit is also the thing that I think people struggle with, because it's an expensive sport. And to do it every day is, could be out of budget for a lot of people. So, there's a lot of factors, but I think golf, right now is in a great place here in San Antonio.
And I think so. And especially with Cedar coming up, right at this moment in time, you have all 8 facilities of the Alamo City Golf Trail open. It's a great time. I was just there at San Pedro today. That place is not slowing down one freaking bit. And I know right here, you got one of your biggest fans out there for the Rock and G Grill, Rudy Jaimes, will be okay. We will be at Rock and G Grill on Sunday. Keep it open for Sunday Night Football, Ray.
Yeah, I mean, it's doable, but we just need turnout. We've done that before, Rudy. It's not something that we're scared of doing, but we have done it. And what's interesting is just we started. Let's say we're gonna hype it up and get it going, and then it starts off great, and just as their teams start tanking and they don't want to come and things start happening, like it makes it tough to be a steady staple week after week. I think if we did maybe once a month, and we were like, okay, guys, we're gonna, you
kind of hype it, right? Kind of let everybody know that, hey, this is the Sunday, right?
Yeah, we'll fire up the pit or do something, off the menu and do some specials on our draft beers or something, just to kind of entice everyone to come out, because the community wants to do it, and I think it's just, I think us as a business, plus having that hard conversation with our area neighborhood, to commit more to the neighborhood watering hole, I think it's doable, and I think it'd be great. But as of now, there's nothing in the works. But if we want to start that conversation, really, I mean, let's talk it through, make that happen.
And also right here, it is Rudy's badass. Hey, it is. It's not a sweater, Rudy. I know. He's thinking of El Guapo, Three Amigos. It's a sweater. No, it's a pullover, Rudy. Right here. And Steven Escobedo right here. 2 of my favorite people. Beto, love you, brother. Miss you.
Yeah.
Beto is one of those guys that he just really just does a lot of stuff. Takes a lot of pictures about golf, but he doesn't really play a lot of golf.
He's either hunting or golfing.
That's right.
It's never working.
No, he does all his work at the lease and on the course. That's where he does all his work.
He's always working.
He's always working something, right? He's always working something. So Ray, I know as we talk about your personal golf game and you're getting out there more, you know what? I know you had a great showing. At what tournament was it that you participated at? Was it a mid-am or was it an amateur?
So this summer, it was the Texas State Open, so it was a professional event. So that was I qualified this year at Canyon Springs, and then from there I got into the state open. It was in mid-July or late July. I mean, it was really hot. It was up in East Texas at the Cascades. I didn't play terrible, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have my best. I shot a couple over, missed the cut, but it was my first true, you know, high end of an organized professional event I've played in a long time. So it was fun just to kind of get the juices going, get out and play a little bit. It kind of got the itch back for me about, you know, playing more competitive golf. And, you know, something that kind of triggered that was something that I don't think anyone knows yet that I'll share with you as well. As I actually just joined the PGA of America recently in the last few months. So now I'm an associate member of the PGA of America. So if you were to look for a PGA coach on the app or search,
Wow.
I'm on an official PGA of America associate coach, and I also was able to get On Par Golf as a STPGA official sanctioned facility. So if you were to look for a PGA facility, On Par Golf is a sanctioned facility. So now that I'm in the section and a member as a associate, I have privileges to play on the South Texas PGA Tour. So STPGA.
Oh,
So
that's huge.
yeah, so that's big. And then, you know, I'm playing as out of the club of On Par Golf. So when I do get to play in the events, that's where I'm tagged as you know, On Par Golf is my home facility. So I think that's good for us to continue to get the word out about what we're doing. And two, it makes it accessible. I actually had a lesson today, which is the first one, because I just recently got it set up, but someone booked a lesson with me right through the PGA app. So I think it's just another good avenue for us as an organization to have. And so that was something that I had always had on my radar. I just kind of felt like, you know, the timing wasn't right. But yeah, after I got to play in the state open, I kind of wanted to find a home where I could have, you know, I can make a schedule, I can travel, I can play in these sanctioned events that I can rack up points. And once I complete my membership, I'll be able to compete to play in the PGA Championship through that channel as a PGA Pro.
Oh, shoot.
So I think that was good. And I mean, I'm going to be 45 very, very soon. So it gives me a 5-year window to try to gear up, because when I turn 50, I really want to get back into some serious competitive golf. So yeah, that's on the radar. So I kind of felt like I was in a place where it would suit me well to start that process, because it doesn't happen overnight. So I've got to go through some of the seminars, which I've done my level 1. I just have level 2 and 3 to complete, and my portfolio and a few things that you have to do to become a PGA of America member. So hopefully I can get that done within the next, you know, 16 to 24 months at the most. And I'll be all clear and good by the time I really want to play more regularly, closer to 50. So it just planning, just like with everything I do, I kind of have, you know, a long-term vision, and you just got to put those little things, you know, parts of the puzzle in place as time moves on, and, you know, build that foundation and continue to, you know, move forward. And that's just one of the parts of the puzzle that it was time. So yeah, this is the first time anyone kind of probably heard that. I haven't posted
Shoot,
it.
yeah, man. That dude, Ray, I don't mean to cut you off, dude, but that's badass, brother. Congrats, man, because I think it's great. You know, we'll see you out there with the likes of, you know, Greg Hiller.
Yep.
You know, you see Brent Blackbird. You see, like, you know, you see like our local pros here, and you know, and I say really kind of our region, the South Texas region, and that's amazing, bro. That's badass, because, dude, I think tell me this, right? You play with a lot of guys that have this high status. You know, it one of somebody who came and is a good friend of AJ, you know, Tim O'Neill. He just won out there on the Champions Tour. You know, you had A-Rod who qualified, you know, Anthony Rodriguez, who qualified to play in the senior US Open.
Yep.
And then, you know what, you have these guys surrounding us. Is that kind of like motivation for you, that, hey, like, you know what, you see these guys, you play with these guys, you got the game comparable, if not maybe better? Is that some motivation that you see that this is something that you could reach and kind of, you could touch it?
100%. If I didn't think I could do it, Andy, I wouldn't even have, you know, started the whole process. I think with everything, I mean, it's unbelievable with the amount of workload I've got and balls I have to, you know, keep in the air, juggling. To find just a little bit of practice time is nearly impossible. But to go out and compete with the best players in the city or the state. I mean, with almost zero to no practice. I mean, I think that says a lot. I think if I really dedicated to my game, I think the sky's the limit. Could I win? On the PGA Tour today? No. And I've always been about realistic goals. And I think if when I get to that 50-year-old mark, I think I kind of get a reset, and I think it'll help me, give me goals every year leading up to that to get better and better, and start kind of figuring out how work can take care of itself more, and I can focus more on the golf piece, and like I don't think there's any reason why I couldn't be competitive. I can hit it as far as just about anybody, and I feel like my course management is where it needs to be. It's just the lack of play and doing it day in, day out that I think holds me back a little bit. But it's intentional. Like I have things on the front burner right now that has to be on the back burner. But when the time's right, I'm going to give it another go. At least that's the plan. And if something changes, that's out of my control. But right now, I definitely I play with Anthony as often as I can, and I play with a lot of great players, and I have no fear that I couldn't compete or do anything in my game that would keep me from ever peaking or reaching some of those goals and winning championships down the road. So no, I mean, to answer your question, no doubt in my mind, I'm more than capable to do it. I've won and I can win, and I see myself winning again. But again, it's just like I tell my students and my clients, it's not you show up and win. I mean, there's a lot of work that no one sees that needs to be put in to do that. I mean, and Tim's a good example of that. I mean, that guy's just a journeyman that has played, his whole life, and it took him to his early 50s to reach that pinnacle. And I think in his case, once you kind of get that feeling, you can do this. I think he's got a lot more victories in his sights. He's extremely good friends with AJ. AJ coaches him and works with him, and he comes to our spot when he's coming. He was here when they played at Pebble earlier this year. He came down before he went to the next event back. Or actually, he was just going back home, I think, to Georgia. So he stopped in San Antonio. But him and AJ, they're very, very close. I talked to AJ Sunday night after he won, and they were just, I mean, elated with what happened. And I mean, it's just a testament to Tim's hard work and the support that he gets, to get to that point. And it's a journey, and it's not, easy by no means. And the proof's in that. Like, how many guys win? Not very many. And those that do, sometimes they're fortunate that it comes quick, and some they can sustain long enough to find that at some point in the career. But I couldn't be more happy for Tim. I mean, that guy, he's just the most humblest, down to earth, just a good dude, man. And I'm so happy for him, because I know how much he put into this to finally reach the top of the mountain. For him, I think I couldn't imagine what that feels like. So I'm just so proud to have had some time with him, and I think it's just the beginning for him in where he goes going forward.
I had the privilege of speaking with Tim out last year when the APGA had their event out there at the Oaks course there and here at TPC San Antonio, and I got to speak with him, and I got to speak with several other players that I think they're in that same boat. I remember when speaking with A-Rod years back, he said he couldn't wait till it was his time to turn 50, to hit that senior tour, right? To hit those champion tours. And it's always great to see that somebody that works hard, especially, he's played a good majority of his career. Tim O'Neill played on, the minority golf, what is considered a minority golf, professional league, and, make it. And now, I think he's just, hey, that's it. He's already popped the top off, and I think more wins are going to come. More is better. And I think it was great that he was able to train at your facility. And this is one of the questions that I had, that a lot of people, because nowadays, I mean, you have the short game out in Castroville. You have Four Swing, which is another simulator place out in Stone Oak. You have Casey's place, fair, SA fairways and simulators, right? You have all these. You have there's another place called Divots in Canyon Lake, and you have New Braunfels Par Tea House. You have all these places, simulator places, opening up. What are your thoughts on maybe like that technology that maybe some of them have and that some of them don't have, and that you're familiar with, and the simulator and the technology that you have to offer to your students and clients?
I mean, I think from the get go, I knew what I wanted because I wanted the best. So that's why I felt like TrackMan was the system to go with. And at that point, honestly, when we first started, I mean, it was just a net and the TrackMan in the corner of a gym. Like, I mean, it was as vanilla as you could find. But I just had to start somewhere, and that's kind of what we did. And then we moved into Mission, and it's never been the same since that. But I think technology now plays a huge part. I mean, I had that conversation today with a client. If this was something in my prime or early years when I was playing a lot more golf. I mean, this was like something that I could never reach, like having this type of technology at my fingertips. It was always old school, eyeballing and, try this, try that, and trying to figure out, past the fundamentals, like what you couldn't see, with the naked eye and just guess. I think that takes a lot out of it. But I think bigger than that, I think it's having the right people that understand the system as well. Like having it means something, but understanding the data you're analyzing, the things, the capabilities, that the technology has to reap every benefit of it. I think that's important, from a client standpoint, in working with someone that has that technology. But I think it's the norm nowadays. You don't go to many places that just catch me on the range, and we'll see if we can figure it out. It may be a quick fix here or there, but for the most part, there's some form, whether that's force plates or K vests or TrackMan or quads.
Foresight. I guess
Yeah,
right.
and the principles are all the same. I mean, they just, you know, understanding someone that has a good balance of that too, because I think it can be a crutch at some point where, maybe you're just stuck in a bay and hitting in a bay constantly. And I wasn't raised hitting in a bay, so I feel like a good balance between the two is my sweet spot where, we'll definitely use that as a classroom setting kind of for me. I guess my time as you as an educator, me as an educator, like I value that time in the classroom. And then, okay, well, past the classroom, more important than that is the application piece. Like, we're not going to play 18 holes of golf in a hitting bay. We're going to, interact with turf. We're going to have elements. We're going to have slope. We're going to have different lies. I mean, there's so much that goes into place. I try not to stay, too attached to the bay. I think it's a good starting point. It's a great way to analyze stuff. But yeah, I'd much rather, have some ammunition from those sessions in the bay, and then we're working, on green grass, because I think that's where I see the most progress. And I think not to sell, even the T line or the studio short, but like on course, I don't even probably, if I practice, I'd rather practice playing 9 holes, hitting 2 or 3 balls, when no one's around. I get way more out of that than I do, getting a large bucket of balls and beating balls. Like that kind of bores me a little bit. I'd rather do on course, and our clients, especially the ones I work with, like love that, because it's different. It mixes it up. You can have different conversations that you wouldn't necessarily have, in the bay, or even on the tee line. You're hitting off a flat surface and it's the same targets over and over. It allows for, I think more in-depth short game work. You're talking every facet of the game, where management and aim points and strategy, and taking advantage of what comes natural, and maybe playing a particular shot a certain way, or alignment, or avoiding trouble, things like that. So um, I think it's a good balance. And to kind of answer your question, I mean everybody's got technology, but I think in the end, it's still a lot of that actual value from it comes with the person you're with. I can't undersell that because I think anybody can read you off numbers off a TrackMan, but how you actually take what's going on and turn that into a lower score, that's an art. That takes someone that knows what they're doing.
And okay, so several people I've spoke to, because I'm out here trying all these new spots. I'm trying to see if I like Casey's spot because it's just bass. That's all it is. It's just bass, some light music. That's it. I saw him the other day. I know he played in the tournament too. I saw him at the tournament the other day, and I said, Casey, you need to crank up the AC in there, bro. And I know you're trying to, I said, you're trying to make some money off that place, but come on, man. I was like, dude, it's like, it felt like my grandma and grandpa's in there. But I just want to know, like, I guess as TrackMan compared to maybe some other ones that you're familiar with, and I know you know it, guys talk, right? Like people in the business and the industry talk. Has TrackMan, would you say it's pretty, I guess, accurate in regards to like roll and carry? Because there's some places that I've been to, like I'm like, hey man, I'm one of these guys that I don't hit it high, and you know what? I count on that roll to play into my distance and my yardage.
Yeah, I mean it's way more accurate outside because it's a dual radar system. So it's basically, if you're using it on the range, it's actually tracking the ball in the air like an airplane, like it's seeing it fly. Versus inside, it's using data and spin and all that to basically put a formula and algorithm that spits out your numbers and how that correlated to the direction of the ball, all that. But I think something else like you got to think about too is like they're all manipulated too, because you can go on the back end and you might have something that's a different altitude and things like that you can put in the back end that change that as well. And you can work with different course conditions where maybe it's hard and firm to kind of give you that representation of kind of what you typically play, or maybe the South Texas golf in general that's typically a little harder running your fairways depending on the course you're playing and where you're playing. But I don't know enough about the other brands to say this one's 100% better than that one or what have you. But I all I know is in my research, 5-6 years ago when I started this, that was the best, and that's what I wanted. I only want the best, and that's kind of the route we went. And I honestly, like, I've never had a reason to be like, well, maybe I need to switch to quads, or maybe I need to look at a different system. It works and it's not broken, and I'm the kind of guy that if it ain't broke, I'm not gonna fix it. And I think those are things that in the base situation, like you might be able to get someone to say, okay, hey, here's the conditions I want that kind of duplicate what I see, because you may be hitting this like you're carrying it short of your number and it's not even rolling close to your number, and you're like scratching your head. So I think like if you were doing a gapping session or you're trying to get some numbers, I definitely would recommend TrackMan on the range versus indoors. And it's just a matter of what you have access to. Like, I mean, if you only have time when it's dark outside to practice, and you're basically, I've got to go to a bay, well then it is what it is and you make the best of it. But if you have availability and access to maybe using it outside, that people don't take advantage of that as much as I think that they should, or they do, because they'd rather be in the air condition hitting balls than sweating it out on the range, and maybe get a touch more accurate with some of that. But it's not far off, Andy. I mean, nothing's perfect, but it's plus or minus within a couple of yards for the most part.
Okay, well, you know what, Ray, you need to work on a technology because I need the extra roll. I said no. I get about 4 or 5 more yards of roll right there. We got some great comments right here. Everybody, thank you for tuning in and listening right here. Nancy, how you doing, Nancy? Thank you for commenting tonight. Sergio Lozano, first time viewer and loving the content. Keep it up, fellas. Thank you, Sergio. Right here, Paul Sharp, congratulations, Ray Garza. That's a great accomplishment in regards to hitting that PGA and going through the program. And that's going to be badass, man. I mean, I guess maybe is your wife motivating you since she has that MD after her name, and now you want that PGA after your name, or what?
Yeah, I need some initials after my because that JR ain't working right now.
It only goes so far, right? It only goes so far in the Garza household. Right here, Steven Escobedo, happy for you, Ray. Make it happen, brother.
Thanks.
Leo Camarillo, Ray is the man. Appreciate everything you do for the youth.
Yeah, oh, that's my passion project. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for those kids and the things that we do. So yeah, no, appreciate that.
So Ray, you know what? And that's a great comment. Thank you, Leo, my bro, right there. And he's my other side in my episode 2 for Two Bros One Hole. Man, we play at Comanche Trace. We play the #1 handicap. I think it's the Hills. I think the course. And oh man, it doesn't get. It's a horror show. It's a horror show for me. Horror episode. But it's gonna.
Which 9 was that?
I think it's the Hills. I think that's what it is. I think that's I think
I can't remember what
because it's the Hills. It's the #1 handicap. It's got like the pasture to the left. It's got that tree almost right dead smack in the middle of the fairway. There's a fairway up top, and it's pretty deep, and it gets pretty interesting. You got a couple of hat golfers playing the #1 handicap. Oh man, that's because I piped one too. You know what? Okay, you'll see it later. You'll see it later. I'm kind of having flashbacks right here, but as we talk about your passion, where did it come from, and why helping the youth? For people that aren't familiar, the Flamingo Club is a club where you're able to get kids fitted, free golf clubs, getting fitted for free, having rounds to some great par 3 courses there for the Alamo City Golf Trail, San Pedro, the Riverside, the Teddy Bear, and then having access to range balls, to buckets, and why, Ray? Like why are youth in the game of golf?
I mean, it's always just been something that I always think back to my youth and not having everything I needed, to have an even playing field. I felt like growing up, I had hand-me-down clubs, and that's fine. That's what I had. I didn't have, my first personal brand new set of clubs till I probably started college. And I think you were at our first celebration, and I had the first club that I ever owned, that my dad cut down and put a grip on, and it's always, I've always kind of seen that club has kind of followed me around. I think it's interesting that things happen for reasons, right? And that club, my mom put it up on a little shelf at their house, so I'd always see it, and it was always kind of like, it always reminded me of those days and how important it was that they put a golf club in my hand, because again, I tell everybody, if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be sitting here today. We wouldn't be talking about all the things that I've helped establish and work towards. I think it's just a passion that I feel like I'm in a place in my life and in our family's life that I need to do more than just taking care of myself. And I think that's probably the whole thing behind it, is like, I want something that, again, is more of a legacy thing. Like, I want people to know that I was more than just a good golfer that had a business. Like, I think it was something that as we progressed, I've always figured out, well, what's our give back? What is it going to be? And that's kind of where I decided to go with the Flamingo Club. After that last piece was with the apparel company, of how we kind of worked that in. And this logo was, again, I think we've talked about it before, was something that I had a vision early on. This was supposed to be Umpire Golf's logo from the beginning, but it just didn't make sense at that time. And I decided, when the time's right, we'll use it. And what it's allowed us to do is create our nonprofit, the Flamingo Club, which in our first giveaway in June, we gave away $17,000 worth of brand new golf equipment, embroidered golf bags, tees, balls, apparel, a Flamingo card membership that lets them have access to the Riverside Par 3 course, and then punch cards to Mission del Lago for buckets of balls, so that they have somewhere to go and utilize that equipment. Because in the end, Andy, like, I don't really care where they get their lessons. Of course, I want us, to work with as many kids and youth in the area as we can. But in the end, it's not always convenient for everyone. They might live, in an area that there's a golf course in the backyard, and we don't have service there, but they have instruction. It's not about, that piece. It's about equipping kids with fitted equipment so that they can get better faster. They can have what they need to succeed. And you think about that in education, right? Like, we're just trying to give them the tools, the laptop, that is Wi-Fi capable, the pencils, the paper, the internet, like the things that are foundation
resources, all those resources.
That's kind of the whole idea is that was something that it's universal, right? We can't play golf without equipment. And if I have a platform to be the nucleus for that and be able to, help bring the right people together to make this happen, then that's kind of the mentality I took from it. And that's, I think, why it's been so successful in such a short period of time. And and that's kind of where I felt like I need to take advantage of this in addition to, helping grow what we're doing and help bring more visibility to golf, for everyone, for our existing clients, to help us grow and strive. So that's kind of where I wanted it to go with our nonprofit. And I think we're well on our way. We're going to be at this pretty close to the same number of recipients in December. We're just about at or exceeding this past June's dollar raised amount. So I think the sky's the limit. I've got a lot of interest in expanding. So there's some interest in creating some additional Flamingo Club memberships programming in Houston, in the Rio Grande Valley. So there's quite a bit that you just from getting it going here and creating what we're creating in a way where we can, have these sister locations throughout Texas and then hopefully beyond as we continue to grow and strive. But I think right now, again, we're still focused on, the San Antonio chapter and making sure we get everything where it needs to be so that if we do, transition to expansion, that we have the playbook that's going to work and we can plug and play it wherever we move to with additional locations on our nonprofit.
And that's beautiful, man. And everything sparked from the game of golf. And that just goes to show you that what this game can do and the power of sports and the power of golf can do for somebody like you and for a community, and what you're doing to our kid and for our kids. And I've said it numerous times on this show, especially in the golf industry, there's two types of people in this industry. There's givers and there's takers. And Ray, you're clearly a giver. You're clearly a grower of the game. And you're a gem, man. We got to protect you at all costs, man. We got to protect you, the grill, the simulator. We got to protect it all, man. We got to protect the Flamingo Club. And guys, in case you're wondering for some great apparel, please visit On Par Golf. Visit onpargolfapparel.com, guys, for some great gear with a purpose. And make sure, guys, you're able to give to this Flamingo Club, give to a great organization. And again, you know what, Ray, you always say you have a lot of things on your plate, and you do more talking with your actions than your words. And that's something, we've clearly said. And we're so thankful that, you are taking care of our youngsters here, because it's not a cheap sport. You see the numbers, why, baseball, for instance, it's a game that's normally passed down, from father to son, right? Well, the numbers of kids playing baseball, here in the United States has, gone down, because no longer, the father and the son, they don't have those same relationships anymore. And, now what you're doing, golf is hot right now, and you're allowing kids to get this equipment. It's expensive.
Yeah, no,
and it's expensive.
You're exactly right. And that's a good point, because I have this conversation on a daily basis. Like, when I come across people and, like, do you have, some kids that are, in this age range that want to get involved with golf or play golf and need, new equipment. And it's amazing how many families say, it's something we can all do together. And, I love the time, I get to spend with, my kids and, build that relationship, because I think that's not the norm anymore. It's changed tremendously from when we were kids. I think that's a definite perk as well, outside of just, playing golf, I think, the relationship building and doing something that is new and will be something that they'll take with them the rest of their lives. And I think, to myself of like, when, you know, that kid gets to be our age, in their 40s, and they're like, it wasn't for that guy or that program, I would have never touched the golf club. And that's the same sensation I had, if it wasn't for my dad, playing golf and the support of my parents, I mean, I would just be, a statistic, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just important, and it was instilled in me early, and I'm just trying to, continue to pay it forward. And I, I think people light up when I talk about it. I think I get so excited about it. They get excited about it when I tell them, what we're doing. And I think the biggest thing is I don't want it to be like a program that people think, I have to be in a situation where I can't afford it. I think I think golf is expensive for someone that has a set of parents that have two great jobs. Like, it's not cheap. And if I'm able to help, offset a little bit of cost so that that family can do a little bit more, then that's the whole purpose of it. And it's not about finding, the kid that, can't find dinner or whatever. It's just anybody and everybody that could benefit from it. I don't want them to feel like they're left out or they couldn't, be a part of the movement we're creating. And just on a side note too, like, it's something that I came across with a lot of my conversations is I wear my stuff everywhere. It's just what I do, and I get so many comments about the Flamingo, and I tell them, well, go to umpiregolfapparel.com, and they kind of look at me like, why am I gonna go to Umpire Golf Apparel for a Flamingo? So it actually prompted me this week I've been thinking about it. So I actually created another domain for it. So you can go to the Flamingo, it's flamingoclubapparel.com, and it'll take you to the same link, because I think people are saying, oh, I like that shirt. Where do I go to get one? And if I was to say flamingoclubapparel.com, it would make more sense. Now there's two avenues to get to our shopping site, through either umpiregolfapparel.com or flamingoclubapparel.com, to kind of clean up some of the miscommunication people may have when trying
Well,
our product.
well, okay, Ray. So we've pretty much been around. You started in 2018, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I started my podcast in 2018, so we've been around like almost the same amount of time. So I've had that same issue, right? Like, I recently in the past year changed, and I was able to change my domain name to nothingisob.com, right? Well, then a lot of times, hey, I'm a school teacher. People are like, nothing is what does that mean? I said, no, and I said, go to the site and you'll see what it means. It's about golf, right? I said, people don't understand what is OB. Is it obstetrician? No. I'm like, no, it's out of bounds. And they're like, oh, yeah, oh, you know what? Okay, that makes sense,
Just put
right?
out of bounds.
I know. I was like, right. And so, you know what? I've worked really hard, and you know how it is, Ray, when you see the dream, right? And people only in your circle can see the vision and believe in you and can push you and can support you, through the ups and through the downs. And I'm thankful for because you've helped me in gain sponsorship for my podcast through a great presenting sponsor and Lee Ramos, right?
Yeah,
With Maximum Demolition Dismantling. And you know what? It's speaking with Lee. I love it. When I met with him, because I want to know what, like what makes a successful business, what drives, what motivates people. And thank the Lord, over time, I've got to see what drives and motivates you. And I think that's why I think we've hit it off pretty well, because, I think our goals kind of align, and we see how each other, makes things work. And, hearing Lee say, I love the dirty work. And I'm like, man, I said, oh, you're my guy, dude. You know what? And I want to make sure that I connect and I relate to people who, who it is and who are partners with you and who sponsor you and who believe in you. And I'm just like, I'm thankful for, for Lee and being the presenting sponsor. And I'm like, this is like, Lee, that's all I do is the dirty work, Lee. I'm that guy, so when you say that, and then you have the family, the good family to back it up, the bones, where you came from, it's somebody like Lee who lives in the South still, who says, hey, Southside is his home. And I'm like, man, I said, dude, I freaking love you. And I was like, I want you to be my presenting sponsor now, and so I think that's probably one of the biggest things since 2018. You were one of my first. I think you were number 13 to be on
Yeah,
the
it was
show,
early. Yeah.
and yeah, it was a good amount of pounds ago, and before we get into a hot topic here, I just want to say, man, that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everything you're doing. I never thought that you being in a little gym in a net could turn into what it's gone in Mission Del Lago and the brand, the Flamingo Club. But you know what? Like you are a gym. We're thankful, to have you in our city. And I don't think people understand this, and you're laying down these roots for hopefully that this is going to continue when you're long and gone, right? And I really want to thank you, man. And it's just since we've been friends in 2018, man, you've done so many great things for this game and for the community.
I mean, thank you. I mean, the the things you've done as well. I mean, don't take that for granted as well. You help the golf community tremendously with all the things that you do as well. So hey, don't sell you need.
I caused a lot of trouble, Ray. I caused a lot of trouble.
But I think it's just vision. Like I've been able to visualize where I see things going and where I want them to go, and it's just putting the right things in place and making the right decisions that I've been fortunate to make to help it happen. So I think that's just for anyone in life, whether it's something small or big. I mean, I'm not a complicated guy. I've never tried to make it complicated. I've just always been humble and grounded, and I think that's been the key to my success. Like it's not nothing. I'm not bigger than anything. I'm just the guy, helping it move forward. And I think leadership is key. Like any organization is you're only going to get as far as that leadership can take you, because if that's not going in the right direction, the whole vision will never happen. And I think that's what my staff on every front, from the golf business to the Flamingo Club, our board that we created, and the staff at the restaurant, and even just golf, and people see that things that I do are positive, and they feel like that's why they want to work with us, or they want to be a part of us, or come and help us towards our goals. And that's intentional. I think it comes from, especially from my parents, where always you treat people like you want to be treated, and that's always been my mantra. Like I and you talk to anyone, they're gonna say the same thing. I'm never gonna disrespect anyone, and if I have something bad to say in my head, I'm not gonna say it. I'll just I don't have time for that kind of stuff. So I think just vision itself is something that I think got us to where we're at, and I think we're just scratching the surface. And like I don't even feel like honestly, I don't feel like I've accomplished very much. So I can't wait to see where we are 5-10 years down the road, because I think the best is yet to come by far.
I love to hear that. We're going to take a quick break here with a word from our sponsor. FOREBROS Tour, never golf alone again. If you don't have a home, FOREBROS Tour has a home for you. Please check out FOREBROS Tour on Facebook and Unknown Golfer schedules, events, and results. Never golf alone again. In case you're wondering, FOREBROS Tour takes zero admin fees, zero money out of any of your buy-ins for any events. Every dollar you put in, you have every right to do it. These guys are my brothers. I grew up an only child. And so these guys are my bros away from my family. These guys have been there for me in my darkest times. They've been there to ridicule me on my darkest golf times. And these are my bros. These are my brothers. FOREBROS Tour, never golf alone again. If you don't have a place to golf, this is the group for you. We love our bros. Golf is what brings us together. It's not what keeps us together. Hit us up on Unknown Golf. Also, please check us out on www.nothingisob.com. There's a little tab there that can take you to our Unknown Golf link. We use an amazing golfing software system, Unknown Golf. Please check us out. Never golf alone again. All right, back to Ray. Ray, what are the hot topics right now? And I'm sure you see it in dealing with, you're on the business side of golf, dealing with clientele, dealing with students. What's the deal going on? You know what? Like one of the biggest things is going on is golf getting too pricey? Is it getting too expensive? Just say it, Ray. Nothing is OB.
It's probably the most expensive it has been. But from a business standpoint, and I mean, just look at the restaurant. Like it's getting ridiculously expensive to keep product in stock. Like the cost of goods are just more and more. So it's that expense has to be passed along somewhere at some point. So I think it's just the state of business and the economy today that's reflecting in all these wants, I guess. Golfing is not, no one needs to golf. Everybody wants to golf. And it's
Ray, I need to golf. I can't be without it. I need to golf.
Right. So, but I think at some point people have to draw the line of like, I physically cannot afford to golf because I've got to eat dinner, or I've got people are in that boat where how do I afford and balance both nowadays with even the cost of everything else for the standard consumer, going to the grocery store or going out to dinner. I mean, it's just more expensive all around. But
well, I don't mean to cut you off, Ray. You said that. I mean, because so you have a different lens than maybe other people in the golf industry, because not only are you an instructor, a teacher, you have your own training facility, right? You are an owner of a bar and grill, right? So I guess you see that and unfortunately here in San Antonio, it breaks my heart, being that was the first service industry that I worked in, when I was 16 years old. I worked at a little steakhouse in Corpus Christi that I loved it when I was younger. I loved it when I worked there. I loved it after, right? Yeah. And it breaks my heart seeing all of these badass places, these staples are closing their doors because of like you said, because of cost, because of the economy. And it's just like, is everything just going to be a freaking Chili's or a Whataburger or what?
The mom and pops, I think, are at some point it's going to be a struggle. I mean, it's big box. That's really where it is now. There's the big chains that are dominating the food retail space, and then grocery stores. I mean, you don't have your mom and pops that can stay afloat. So that's just the way of the world right now. And I can see why and how these places can maybe make it a year or 2 years before they just dry up because there's just no way to maintain it. And you look at as a staffer, I mean, I'm responsible for people's livelihood that work at the grill, right? They depend on that paycheck that I can't not give them a paycheck, and they have to spend that money too to buy everything else that they need to do to live day to day. So it's hard from a business standpoint to be like, okay, well, here's top dollar as an employee, but if the dollars aren't coming in to cover that expense, in the end we're all going to lose, right? We're going to be out of business and they're going to be out of a job. So again, as a business owner, you're trying to find that right balance between the two. And I don't mean to get off topic. I think we're talking.
No. They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand right now.
Yeah, I mean, and how it relates to golf. Like I think look at all the dollars spent on the trail, right? I mean, that's millions and millions of dollars that eventually have to be recouped. What's that return on investment? And I think that's why you see these rate increases, and it's just a difficult balance, to keeping the consumer happy and keeping the establishments in business. I mean, it's just it's not easy, and I think everybody struggles. Well, why do we have to keep raising the prices? Well, I mean, if we want places like Cedar and Brack, when they're in these prime conditions, to be there for us, I mean, it's just the cost of doing business. You know, the price of poker is just higher than it's ever been. You know, so that
And you hear that it's the cost of doing business, right? And I think everybody hears that, and everybody understands that. Okay, you know what? Maybe I can't go play. I can't play twice a week. I'll play Saturday and maybe hit the range or maybe chip and putt. Like for me, I'm like, you know what? I'm one of these guys that I could go to any course and I don't have to spend one dime, because you know what I'll do? I'll go take my shag balls. I'll go chip on the back,
yeah,
especially. You know what? And those are some things that I can do. Is like if I don't feel like fitting the bill. And I think the thing is that I'm sure we as San Antonio golfers, we want to make sure that we keep our damn courses. We don't want another course to close. And I don't think people. I think people that are, and when I say true golfers, I don't mean like the bro golfer that goes on a freaking ninesome at San Pedro with their shoes off, holding everybody up, hitting into people, and that's what I mean. And I don't hate that guy either, because at some point in time, you know what, I was that guy, or I would love to be that guy, right? And that's a different type of golf, and that's where we're with. The golfers nowadays is a diverse golfer. Golfer doesn't look like,
yeah,
it doesn't look like Hal Sutton anymore. It doesn't look like Fuzzy Zeller. It
yeah,
don't even look like Tiger Woods anymore. You
no,
know what I mean? Like that golfer can be anybody. That golfer can be anybody. He can have those Kangol hats. He can have a freaking bucket hat. You know what? That guy can be any type of
yeah,
golfer. And I think that I think what we want to know is that is our dollar being well spent? Are these companies doing what they say? You know what? You have the Alamo City Golf Trail. Is like, yes, I can't wait to get on Cedar. I can't wait. And Brack, and I mean, we played it last Wednesday. Man, Brack Sundown. I don't think there's a prettier freaking course in the city. Brack at Sundown. I will put Brack at Sundown up against any other freaking course in the city.
yeah. No, I mean that's always been one of my favorites. I mean, I could play Brack every day and I'd be fine. I enjoy it. It's not tremendously long, but it's gettable, and it can bite you or you can take advantage of it. It's just a good balance between both, and it's got every element you want in a golf course. But I mean, it's just difficult to say. If and when there is another golf course that was to close. I mean, I just don't know within the trail. I think we're gonna get a good view this year, because it's been a long time since the trail itself has had all 8 facilities in operation
Open, yeah.
simultaneously. So there's gonna be a leveling off with these other courses that got more play just because there was one less course. So it's again, we're not privy to the balance sheets and all the accounting piece of it, of like, where is this dollar end up going, and what have you, right? But I think the trail specifically, is going to do everything that they can to stretch every dollar they can. And if there's a rate increase, I mean, I would hope, and I'm sure there is a reason behind it, to recoup everything that they're investing into it. But these other courses, these Olympia Hills, or Golf Club of Texas, or whatever, they're completely independent of all this. And I mean, it just comes to running a good business and understanding what they're trying to do, understand their customer, and understand what they need and where they focus on. And I think sometimes you can overspend too in a golf course, because if your price point is at a certain place, the expectation is a certain place. And again, in the end, if the bottom line works and the customer's happy and ownership is happy, well, there shouldn't be a problem, right? That's the way business is meant to be run. But if we were at a high-end club with a high expectation and a high dollar input from the consumer, well, then those are just different things in looking at a public versus a private, and semi-private, or what have you, like how they have the mindset of what their product is in the end that is offered and sold to the consumer.
Now you say that, Ray. We're coming live from the law office of Jesse Hernandez, the Texas Chancla studio. Now, we speak about that, Ray, and you have these independent golf courses, right? Um, I think Olympia Hills, they had some stuff, some problems happen with greens. They have brand new greens, and again a price increase to again recoup some of that money lost. I believe that's why that's what these companies are doing or these courses are doing. They've had a great rate, $25, all while they're doing the construction of all you can play, which is I think a great gesture to their patrons to keep them there, to keep bringing them back, and I think that's a great gesture. And you know what? You're gonna go up $10. Hey, I totally get it. I understand. You made the ultimate sacrifice to your customers to keep them there and to keep them happy. So you know what? I have no quarrels or no problems with what they're doing at all. Then you have the Hyatt. They're building a freaking 2-acre lagoon right now.
Yeah, I was just there.
Oh man,
when was it? Monday I was at. It's just a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. Do I go here? Do I turn here? What? I think logistically it's a big issue. And the Putting for Pops, we were supposed to have our tournament there on November 1st, and we decided, luckily enough, Ashley, the golf professional out there, the head pro, was like, hey, we're gonna honor your contract, the following year, because yes, we are having a lot of construction stuff like that. And I'm sure for hosting a tournament, it's a logistical nightmare. No putting green, no short game area, seven little spots, and it makes it tough, right? So I think we all as golfers, we want to make sure we keep our courses. You know what? We don't want to lose it. We don't want to lose another damn course. We want to keep these courses, and we want to keep them healthy, and we want to play, and it's like all we want to do is play. All we want to do is get out there, and all we want to do is play. But I'm hoping in regards to Cedar, I would love to see that course compete again. In regards to having that course be a qualifying course for the U.S. Open. I remember, I'm sure you remember back in the day, and you're about to play the U.S. Open. I mean, the SA Open there at Cedar Creek coming up. And I think the last time they played the San Antonio Open, that course was about to be shut down for renovations, and it wasn't in the best shape. There was spray paint all over the place and ground under repair. And I'm sure you remember that.
Well, I didn't play it last year, but I know it was, on its way to getting shut down. So yeah, there was probably some corners cut and no reason to, do certain things as they knew that, the renovation was, right around the corner. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking extremely forward to it. I think I haven't played it yet. I'm going to probably get out there a couple of times prior to the tournament. But I've heard, positive things for sure. I don't want to critique until I've seen it, and kind of feel it out for myself. But overall, the vibe I've gotten from it is that it's going to be fantastic in a short period of time as it continues to mature. But it's still, I mean, a great venue that was great already. It just needed, this to be done. And I'm glad that they did it. And I think it's going to be even better than it could ever imagine from what I'm hearing. So we'll just see. Time will tell. I think, it's going to be a positive for the trail for sure. And I think for the San Antonio Open to kick that off with the first formal event later or in November, I think is going to be, a great litmus test to see where things are with the golf course.
Oh man, definitely. So in regards to Cedar Creek, are you going to be providing services there once again at Cedar Creek now that it's reopened?
As far as I understand, yeah, everything's gonna progress like we were there before. The only holdup was with it just opening last week. There was an ask for a little window of just letting operations kind of figure things out, and
it makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Where fixes need to take place, staffing's in place, everything's more of a well-oiled machine before we add another process into the whole arrangement out there. So yeah, I definitely gonna start. I just don't have a official start date yet, but I haven't been told otherwise. So the plan is very soon, but that's just the reason it wasn't simultaneous. It wasn't like Cedar Open, come get a lesson at Cedar from day one. We just want to make sure everybody's comfortable before we actually start our service out there. And also to let you know, we had some new staff that came on um, to help with that growth and coming back into play with 3 locations. So we still have our staples. I spend majority of my time at Mission. I will pop out to some of the other locations as needed. And Jesse's, our main guy at Mission del Lago, Jesse Anguiano, Mark Tisdale, Cristicano, AJ Montesinos when he's he's actually in Japan right now. I just talked to him the other day. The Zozo, so he's caddying over there in Japan, and Carlo Griever is also still with us, and he's going to be kind of going between both locations. And those are all the players you're kind of familiar with. We did bring on Tyler Bohr. He's a guy that's also in the PGA program. He's going to be helping us out some at Cedar, as well as Jake Stevenson, who's a great player as well. And he's was the interim coach over at UIW, head coach, and did some work with Arnie at Our Lady of the Lake, and decided he wanted to get into the teaching side as a primary gig. So he's on board with us now. We released that. And then Weston Neesham, Wes is going to be joining us. We haven't formally announced him, but he's going to help us too at predominantly at Northern Hills. So we have some new staff, and we did lose one, but that's part of the business. But we're 9 total instructors citywide, which I don't know many instructional facilities that have that deep of a staff with the experience and expertise that we have. So I think that suits us well in why we're probably one of the most capable outfits that you can find in our city. So we're going strong, and the growth, I think, speaks for itself. Like these guys, want to be on board with what we're doing, and that says a lot to me that I'm doing things right. That we have, people excited and wanting to continue to help us grow and see the impact we're making with our brand and our reach here in San Antonio.
And I think it's important, as being, you being a coach and a teacher in the education system, as am I now. I think you're only as good as your staff. At Ray, you could be the greatest instructor, entrepreneur, leader. If you don't have the right people around you, the right people with you, you don't really say under you, that's not what it is, because it's a partnership.
Yeah.
And it's a partnership. And I think as long as you've always had surrounded yourself with great people for your students, for your clients. And you're right, man. That's huge. Now thinking about that, you say 9 instructors. Like, not a lot of places can say they have 9. Quality. I mean, you have a PGA caddy also, which is on your staff, a former LPGA, tour player. Like, I mean, you are locked and loaded right here. We got some great comments, everybody. Thank you so much for chiming in and commenting. Tony Castillo, thanks for making the On Par Golf Apparel dad bod friendly. Right there. Tony Castillo, what a great program and cause for the kids. Congrats. Patty Cottrell, I want Ray Garza's golf swing, 0 effort. Ray, do you have a package that you can put people on the Ray Garza swing plan?
The Ray Garza special? We'll work on it. I'll put something together for you.
There we go. See, there we go. Right there. Right. Right there. Ray, I need a lesson now. Jeremiah Sierra, what's up, brothers? Love what y'all do for the game of golf in San Antonio and for families in need. Jeremiah Sierra, Ray banned Rudy Hymas from Rockin' G Grill. Is this true, Ray?
He has his mugshot up on the front door. Don't let this guy in.
Do not let this man in. Do not let this man in right here. Stop. You never hit up on anyone, Andy. You hit to the right of everyone. It's a cut. It's a cut. It's a cut right there. Right here. Also, we got Sergio Lozano. Oh, I didn't know Cedar was open again. I wonder how it is now. And right here, A-Rod right there. One of my favorite pros in San Antonio right there. Anthony Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Our guy right there.
One of the best.
Go for it, brother. Go for it.
No. I mean, me and Ant play play a lot, and we talk pretty often. And yeah, he's a stand-up dude. He's someone I've always looked up to as a player, and I have a lot of respect for Ant for sure.
Okay, we had him on the show, and I'm glad A-Rod chimed in. Ray, what do you think it is that people give A-Rod? I mean, there's people out there that talk trash about him, and you're like that don't have. He leaves a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth, but I'm like, shoot, A-Rod's my dog, man. I'm like, he's never been cordial with nothing but me and mine, and I'm like, you understand what I'm saying, and even A-Rod told me that too. Like. What do you think it is? How is he perceived at times?
I don't think it's just personality. Like it's just who he is, and you got to think of it as a golfer's mentality, right? Like if I want to be the best, you have to have a little chip on your shoulder. Sometimes
a little cutthroat, some cutthroat, right?
It is. I think that's something if I was to be better at, that's probably something that would suit me better in my approach to my golf. But I'm a little soft in that aspect. But I feel like if you really knew inside what's going on versus what you see outside, I'm probably just as cocky as Anthony. You just don't see it.
No, we see it. We see it, Ray. Don't worry, we see it.
But Anthony, it's a little more visible and expressed, which is fine. And in the end, it shouldn't matter. Anthony's doing what he needs to do. I'm doing what I need to do. And if you don't like it, then don't play with us, or don't worry about it. Like we're just trying to get the job done. And I think it's as simple as that. Is you have to be a little selfish to be great. And that's this. My personality is a little bit different, but in the end, I think we're both grinding equally hard whenever we're playing golf. And I think that's all it is. And I don't. If that rubs someone the wrong way, then it is what it is. Like you can't make everyone happy, and you'll drive yourself crazy if that's what you're trying to do. So I think that's just him, and we have a great relationship, and I don't feel like he's ever disrespected me or what. I mean, and we could be playing for $1,000 a hole. I mean, we're still gonna feel respect each other.
Have you?
No. But I'm just giving you a what if.
I was like, I want to hear the juice. I want to hear the.
No, I just don't. If we're playing, we're trying to kick
beat each other's brains out.
We're not trying to just have a good time and have a few beers. Like we're serious when we play, and we're friends when we're playing. We're still even better friends after we're playing. It's just the competitor in us. That comes out, and that's all it is. But I can't speak for every situation because I'm not with him all the time, but I'm sure there's situations where maybe it was a little more than normal for Anthony, and he just kind of gave someone the impression of the way he is, and there's nothing that can change that. So I think Anthony's just being Anthony, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I love it. A-Rod being A-Rod right here. We also got some great questions right here. Let's see right here. Okay. Right here. Jeremiah Sierra. Right here he goes, I hope Cedar remodeled the customer service because it was worst customer service ever. Man, it was pretty rough out there, man. I had a good amount of complaints out there. And right here we got Renee Realme. Went today, they were pretty cool. All right. And that's great to hear. And I think that's the thing. I'm sure in running a business is it's always that first person that walks through the door. How do they treat you? How do they greet you? Right here. And Sergio Lozano right here. The drought certainly hasn't helped anybody, but hopefully a pattern will change and will allow for better chances of rain as we head into November. And yes, I mean, because it's about to get dormant season, and that's what I'm hoping we get a touch of rain right here because it is still, the temperature is still a little warm and it is growing season. And I'm hoping because I hate dormant grass. I'm a chunker, man. I need green grass. And I think we played Flying L this past weekend and man, I need to come see you, Ray. I need the touch. I need the magic touch. I need you to give me to clean up my swing and then, give me a triple meat cheeseburger at Rock and G Grill afterwards. I need another I need the Flamingo special. Can I get the Flamingo special 30 minutes instruction and the triple meat burger afterwards?
That's a good idea.
See, they look at that, bro. See, you know what? I have a lot of ideas. I'm just not good at making. I don't have the means to make it happen. But I shot a 90 out there. I played really, really bad. I started my Mach 3 Jeff Young and Mike R workouts again yesterday. I said, this ain't gonna happen again. And what would you say to that golfer that may be there, you know, that's got tears in their eyes, like Jeremiah Sierra the other day, walking off the course barefooted, you know, being mistaken for out there downtown in Brack, being mistaken for a homeless man, but no, he was just a golfer, you know, searching for meaning out there. What would you say to that golfer that needs help and doesn't have anybody to turn to, right?
Well, I mean, if I think golf in general, like the more short-term memory you've got, the better. Like where I think those that get into a rut, like sometimes it's nearly impossible sometimes to get out of that funk of like, I mean, I can't break 90 anymore and I can't, you know, hit a shot to save my life or what have you. But I think again, it's a lot of it is mental. Like, you know, you get into these funks and it's like, you know, you start grabbing at straws, like maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And I think at that point, again, like finding someone you trust, where it doesn't have to be us, just someone that, you know, knows what they're doing and can help you, you know, with maybe something small mechanically that, you know, that has changed, or you got into a bad habit and it just something that, you know, you don't see. And we get that a lot. Like, it's like, oh, I was playing great. And then, you know, I went out one day and then started doing this and I can't fix it anymore. And then, you know, you look at it and it's like, you know, the simplest thing in the world that, you know, they just didn't think about. I think one, having a short-term memory, like if that happens, I mean, it's just one round, it's just a couple of shots, and it'd be able to like reset, you know, next go around and, you know, feel like that was just, you know, a one-time thing, and have the mental strength and capacity to be like, you know, that was just a fluke day, you know, I'm going to bring it now, and, you know, try and keep the mental aspect as strong and positive as possible, because it can get into a dark place, you know, really quick. And then, you know, if you're still finding those kinds of issues, is, you know, seek professional help, like find someone that you trust, that can help you, you know, identify some of these things. And like, I think the biggest thing, and you can ask anybody that's ever sat in a session with me, is, yeah, I like to teach them why it's happening versus just, here, do this, do that, because it would be less likely to fall in that rut again with, you know, if I start doing that again, you know, Ray said it was this, I just got to remember that, let's get back to this, and try and work yourself out of it versus feeling like, oh, it went south, I need to call Ray, I need to, you know, I think a good player is going to be able to fix themselves if they have the proper knowledge. So that, I think that's important, is, you know, you're working with someone, like, actually ask more questions, or ask, well, why this, why that, why is it doing this? There's some more explanation to it to help you, you know, be able to problem solve much easier on your own, when you don't have, you know, someone to phone a friend real quick and get help with, you know, really quick.
Well, you see it all the time on SA golfers. People always ask, who's the best teaching pro, right? Or who's the best golf instructor? And I think, you know, there's a couple things I always say. First, I always say it's proximity. I mean, that's just, hey, you know what? Being a father of two, husband, coach. You know what? Do I want to maybe get work? Do I want to work with somebody that's close to my work or close by home? Right? That's just one of the first things I said. Where do you live by? The second thing I say is what are you having problems with? Right? Like, you know, who are the best? Well, you know what, Ray? I think you and your 9 instructors at On Par Golf, I think there's a variety. You have a diverse, you know, set of instructors. They have a set skill set. You know, they have these great skills. And I think if people don't, if they've never been to On Bar Golf, they don't know about you. I've always said this. I was like, you know what, you give people hope when they leave your facility, when they leave your hands. And for those people that have never worked with Ray or never been around him or aren't familiar with On Par Golf and On Par Golf instructors, Ray, one of the best pieces of golf advice you've given me was, you told me, you said, well, I said, there's nothing wrong with your swing. You can keep swinging the way you're swinging. Or do you want your swing to be there for you when you're not scoring well or when you're not playing well? Do you want it to be there, and do you want it to be able to count on that swing when you need it. And you told me that, and I was like, shoot, man, like I do, like, being a coach of 20 years, I take things away from other good coaches. And I think that was probably one of the best pieces of advice golf wise you gave me. It's like, you want your swing to be there for you, even when you're not scoring well or things aren't going good. You want to be able to hit that shot to get you out of trouble and hit that shot when you need it. And Ray, you do that for a lot of people. And hey, man, dude, I appreciate you being on the show. All you do for this community, dude. And man, hey, dude, we're rooting for you, dude. Ray Garza PGA, man, that's gonna have a badass ring to it, dude.
Yeah, we're on our way. We'll see, when I get all my process done, but I do have, privileges now, so that's going to be a good platform for me. So my goal is to play a full schedule of more than likely the medal events where it's just me playing. I probably won't do too many of the 2-mans or 4 balls and stuff like that. I'm just going to try and work on some of those events that that'll fit in my schedule, and that will give me some more organized golf and get to travel a little bit, because I think that's important. Where you're
gonna play some of the best courses out in the state has to offer too, man.
Yeah, no, it does have its perks. So I'm excited for that, and everything else that's going on. And again, I mean, I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come on the show again. I feel like it's always a good conversation, and I try to stay on topic as much as I can with you. But
nothing is OB, Ray. Nothing is OB.
Yeah. But I think what my big thing is we probably get into a closing of today's podcast. But the Flamingo Club is something that's very near and dear to me. So anyone that has a youth between the ages of 6 to 12, there is some gray area in there. If you're close enough to that age range, just apply. You just go to flamingoclub.org. Beautiful website that's up and running. You can donate on there as well. So if you went to flamingoclub.org, there's a button you can click on to donate $5, $10, $100, $1,000, whatever you want. And then we do have sponsorship opportunities for some recognition at our celebrations that we have in June and December. But again, it's just a way that I've been able to help create a network for us in the golf community that want an avenue to get their dollars put into place that is going where it needs to be. It's not covering overhead. It's all we're doing is outfitting these kids with this program. It's a beautiful thing. I welcome y'all to our December 14th celebration if you can attend. It's an amazing event. We should have some city council there. The mayor is also gonna try and make it. We had a conversation already on that. So we're trying to get a lot of our local officials involved to help spread the word and give it some notoriety about what we're doing. But I can't thank you enough, Andy, for having me. And please help share the word. Visit onpargolfapparel.com or flamingoclubapparel.com to support our new gear. We've got some new stuff dropping that I can't wait to show y'all. So some good stuff in the works. And thanks for everything you do again, Andy, and everyone that watched today's show. Reach out. I'm easy to reach. Spend a lot of time at Mission, but I'm here to help support your golf game, your apparel game, your food game, whatever you need.
Dang, hey, he's your guy, all right? If you don't have a guy for that, hey, Ray will find you one. Hey, that's Ray Garza, king of Southside Golf. Ray, one of the best people out here in San Antonio. Ray, keep rocking, bro. We're proud of you. And hey, man, we're always rooting for you, brother.
Thank you, Andy. Appreciate your time.
All right, man. Have a good night, brother.
You too.
Man, one of the best people out there right there. Who wants to say bad shit about Ray? Tell me, say it. Don't say it to my face. Don't say it to my face right there. Ray's one of the best people out there. I'm so thankful for everything he's doing for our kids, for our community, for the game of golf right here. Right here, Paul Sharp. I challenge all FOREBROS players to donate your winnings to Flamingo Club for the rest of the year. Ooh, there's a lot of money out there, Paul. There's a lot of money out there. We always try to do our best to support the group. And we're talking about Jeremiah Sierra. Man, this dude was over there with the homeless people. He was walking around. Downtown with no golf shoes on. He lost his shoes. He was searching for meaning. And then he won second. It's short-term memory. Jeremiah Sierra, I won second place in an A flight A-Flight, short-term memory, baby, right there. One of the most clutch players in FOREBROS history. We saw it there in the 19th hole out at Flying L. It was freaking beautiful right there. We want to give shout out to several people right here as we close out tonight's show right here. Special thanks goes out to Maximum Demolition and Dismantling for being the presenting sponsor. Thank you to Lee Ramos, one of the best dudes out there. He's a golfer, loves Nothing is OB, loves to golf, loves on park golf, loves the Flamingo Club, a supporter of the Flamingo Club. Make sure, guys, you hit him up for any of your demolition, dismantling needs. This dude loves the dirty work. A family-owned, operated business. Quality work, quality person. Please hit him up at MaximumDemo.com. And also, we've been coming live all night from the Texas Chancla studio, the law office of Jesse Hernandez. Special thanks to being our studio sponsor. Yes, he is the king of TikTok. He is the TikTok lawyer. He is everywhere. He will fight for you. If it's a criminal case, if it's DWI, parental case, he will help you out. Anything legal, this man can help you out. Please reach out to the law office of Jesse Hernandez at 210-807-8656. He will fight for you. All right. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Make sure all you got to do is hit up nothingisob.com, guys, for any past events. You can reach our FOREBROS. FOREBROS tag is on there. FOREBROS has a link on there, guys. And a special thanks goes out to my FOREBROS. Never golf alone again. If you don't have a home, FOREBROS Tour has a home for you. Please hit us up on Unknown Golf Facebook for more. Thank you to my bros. I love you, and I appreciate you for helping me out with this podcast, guys. Thank you so much. Remember, guys, in the game of life, nothing is OB.